You might think that you need to spend a tremendous amount of time on MapleStory to really get anywhere. That might not necessarily be true. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how if I had only 1 hour a day to play this game, how I would progress and how you can get actually pretty far with just playing consistently. This video is going to have different advice for different types of people. So for example, if you're somebody who is relatively low level or newer to the game, I'm going to give you advice that pertains to you. And if you're somebody who is in the middle of the pack, somewhere around 260, or somebody who's even 275 plus, there's going to be something for everybody. So before we get into it, there is some things that we have to keep in mind. The most important thing to progression in MapleStory is knowing what to do. I know it sounds very obvious, but it is so incredibly important to be educated on what you have to do. There are so many different things in this game, so many different dailies, so many different systems. Some are more important than others, some don't matter at all, some are limited like events. The most important thing is to know what to do. And knowing what to do can be a little tricky if you don't have anybody that guides you along the way. So whether it is watching my videos, watching a Twitch stream, going on some sort of Discord to find resources, the first thing that you should do when you play MapleStory and you want to progress is to find some sort of community that you can ask questions in. I honestly think that is incredibly important. It is invaluable. You need to find people that have patience and are willing to help you out. A really great way of doing that is trying to join a guild. If you're really low level, you can try and look for guilds that are new player friendly if they have a description that says that, or you can join a stream community like mine where I stream almost every single day and people can ask whatever questions they want in my chat and I always answer them. But the point is, having people to play with, having a community to ask questions in makes the progression on this game so much easier because you won't waste time doing things that are not beneficial for you. With that being said, another thing that I'm going to be doing in this video is I'm going to be timing how long things take me. So for example, if I do my dailies, I'm going to time how long that takes me. If I do daily bosses, I'm going to time how long that takes me, so you know realistically how long these things will take, and it's not just a bunch of BS like go do X, Y, and Z in a list, and I don't know that you could actually fit it all into about an hour of gameplay. Now that we're all on the same page, the first character that I'm going to be progressing on is, as you can see, my level 216 Shadower. So this is a pretty low level character. I don't have a lot of dailies unlocked. I'm not that strong. I have 5.5 mil CP. I have 9k luck. I'm sure many of you watching this video are much stronger than me, and maybe you're not as strong as me as well, but these are the things that I would do and the most important things that I would do on a relatively low level character so that I can progress. So the first and most important thing to do on a character is your dailies. I'm sure many of you saw this coming, but dailies have been getting stronger and stronger every single patch. They give so much XP, they give you so many free resources, so that's the first thing I would do. This yellow light bulb on the left side of the screen shows you what your current dailies are, and when I say my dailies, I'm talking about my Arcane River dailies first. So for me, since I'm level 216, I only have Vanishing Journey and Choo Choo unlocked, so I'm going to accept them, and we're going to see how long it takes me. Okay, so I finished my dailies. It took about 4 minutes. Obviously, this might vary somewhat with people depending if they one-shot or if they don't have a lot of good mobbing, whatever it is. But it took me about 4 minutes to do my dailies at level 216, and you could see how much the dailies gave me. I went from 6% to 26%, and that's just 2 dailies. I gained about 20% XP. So for those who haven't played in a while, dailies have gotten so much better. Like the Arcane River dailies, you can level up just from doing your dailies. You don't even have to train that much. Now, another thing that happened while doing my dailies is I was working on capping my event coins, which leads me to my next point. If there is some sort of event going on right now it's the Maple Island anniversary event. Usually these events operate all the same way. They have some sort of kill requirement that you need to do, and if you kill the mobs, you get currency that you can use to buy items in the shop. And if you don't know what to buy in the shop, I made a whole video about it and I'll link it in the description. So you could bang out 2 birds with 1 stone if there is some sort of event that requires you to kill stuff. You could just do your dailies and you'll cap out on coins that way. Now, another very important daily to do when you're low level is your daily bosses. So not every single daily boss has the same priorities. So for example, something like normal Hilla is not that important to do, but something like normal Vellum is important to do, and I'll explain why. So when you're low level on this game, you're not going to have a lot of meso and drop gear that you can use to get a lot of money just from training. You're going to need to get your money from other resources, and a really good way to get money is through your daily bosses. Now, I would recommend going through and doing all of your daily bosses. That's perfectly fine to do, and it'll give you a good chunk of money every day. But the most important daily bosses to do are Magnus, Vellum, Queen, Arcarium, and Pink Bean. Now, the reason you want to do Magnus, Cygnus, and Vellum is because of their soul shards. Their soul shards are incredibly useful much later into the game. So you want to start doing them as early as possible so you could stack up on those soul shards for the far future when you get into magnificent soul shards. But that's not important right now. Just know that these 3 bosses drop soul shards that you're going to want to save for a very long time. And the reason why Arcarium and Pink Bean are very useful as daily bosses, they drop equips that you need for much later into the game as well. Pink Bean can drop belts and black bean marks that you can star really high up and transfer to better gear in the future. And Arcarium can drop Dominator pendants that you can star and use or transfer to superiors way into the future. So essentially these 2 bosses drop items that are really strong for the future that you can equip. But for this video, I'm going to actually be doing all of my daily bosses, and I'm going to show you how much money I get from them and how long it takes. So I'm going to put all my money in the storage right now, just so I have literally nothing on me. Alright, so I finished all my bosses. It took me about 7.5 minutes. Daily bosses are very fragile. You can kill them with very little gear. So I'm going to sell all the crystals, and I got about 100 mil, which might not seem a lot in one day, but this actually adds up quite a bit. So if you do it every day for a month, that's 3 bill mesos that you didn't have, and 3 bill is enough to get 1 or 2 pieces of drop gear made. So it actually helps a lot. These 100 mils help a lot when you're very early into the game. You might have noticed that I left one daily boss not cleared, which is Golux. So the thing about Golux is it is much harder to do than all the other bosses, in particular Helix. Helix is a lot tankier, and if you can't solo it, obviously you should solo it. It is incredibly important to do, as it takes a very long time to get all of your Golux gear, and the only way to do it is by killing Golux daily. But if you're not strong enough to kill Helix by yourself, I would highly recommend doing at least hard lux, which means you kill one of the pieces of Golux, whether it's his chest or one of his 2 arms, and then you kill the head, or you just run with somebody that you know that can kill Helix for you, and you do 5% HP to it so that you can get the Golux coins. But for me, I think this character is strong enough to do Helix, so I'm going to do it, and we're going to add it on top for the dailies. Alright, so killing Golux on this character took like another 4 minutes. This character, again, is not that strong. Even its nodes, like it's not fully maxed out nodes. Like all the nodes are about like halfway, maybe a little bit more than halfway max. And you can easily get this just using event nodes that are given out throughout the game. And the gear, this is a fake arcane weapon that was given out through events. But yeah, for those that are going to be like, oh my god, you have an arcane weapon, you have an arcane weapon. Like, it's a fake arcane weapon. You can get it through events. There's nothing too exceptional on this gear. But either way, the point is you can do Helix even if it takes you an extra 2 minutes. From me, it took me about 4 minutes. So an extra 2 minutes would mean like 50% slower. So yeah, you guys should be fine. Golux can be a little tricky to do as it has a lot of like one-shot mechanics that are really annoying. But if you practice it, you'll get it down. So now that we did all of our daily bosses and we did our Arcane River dailies, what other dailies are there to do that are really important? So I personally think that the Arcane River dailies and the boss dailies are the most important ones. But another very, very important daily to do is Monster Park. Monster Park is something that you should be doing every day. It gives you a massive amount of experience, especially at low levels. And the resources from the boxes are incredibly important for buying things like green pots, red pots, and stuff like that. If you want to run Monster Park an additional 5 times, you see how it says you have 2 free clears left for today. You need to buy Monster Park tickets. So if you go into the cash shop, type Monster, it's this first one, Monster Park additional entry ticket. You need 5 of them extra per day, and it is 100% worth buying these every single day to run the 7 Monster Parks. So I'm going to be doing my Monster Park. You want to always be doing the highest level Monster Park that you can, assuming that you can kill pretty effectively in that Monster Park. So for me, it's Choo Choo Island. I'm going to be doing the 7 runs, and we'll see how long that takes. So about 10 minutes later, we have finished our Monster Park dailies. And if you'll notice, we went from around 26% to 53%. So we gained about 25-27% just from doing Monster Park. So we started off the day with 6% and now we're at 53% just from doing 2 Arcane River dailies and our Monster Park. So we've gained almost half a level in just dailies and no training at all, which goes to show how powerful these dailies are and how far you can get just in the early game. Now keep in mind, as you unlock more and more regions, they also have dailies and they also give you a massive amount of XP. So this pattern holds true as you progress in the game. Every single time you get new dailies, they'll give you more and more XP. So that's why it's so important to keep doing these Monster Park dailies, to keep doing these Arcane River dailies. And now that I have these Monster Park boxes, I can use them to get whatever Monster Park items I need as well. Now, something that is very important to keep in mind as well is that it's okay to skip dailies. I know that dailies can get incredibly repetitive and can burn you out. Better to not do your dailies and not burn out than to keep forcing yourself to do them and eventually burn out and you don't play the game anymore. So obviously, take it at your own pace, but this is just what I would do if I was low level and I didn't have a lot of time on my hands. So the last daily is very important, but you can only really do it effectively during certain times of the day, and that's Ursus. So on screen is a bunch of different times that Ursus has a double Meso reward, but if your time zone is not shown here, then Ursus is in between -6 and -2 reset, and in between +1 and +4 reset, assuming you know when reset is for your time zone. But the reason why Ursus is so important is because it gives you a ton of money every single day, just like the daily bosses. It'll give you around 100 mil every day as well. So if you do your daily bosses, if you do your Ursus, that's around 1.4 bill Mesos that you can get every single week just from doing dailies. So when you talk to him, there's going to be 2 options. You could either quick start or party play. Now, the cool thing about Ursus is if you decide to enter it by yourself in party play, you only have to do 5% of the boss's HP to get the full rewards. So you could just join as a party, press start now, and do your 5%. So now that I've done 5% of Ursus, I'm just gonna die. I'm gonna let Ursus kill me, and you're gonna see that I still get the full reward, the about 30 mil Meso and the S rank. And you could do Ursus 3 times a day. So you don't even have to wait for anybody. As long as you could do the 5%, you could do it by yourself and you'll be good to go. One last daily that is pretty important, but a lot of people skip out on is MapleStory. So what MapleStory does is it basically gives you a certain amount of money based off of how many runs you've done per week. So you could do this 7 times a day, just like Monster Park. It's essentially another Monster Park, but instead of buying multiple runs with Mesos, you have to buy multiple runs with real money, Maple points. Now, I'm not saying buy it with Maple points, but if you want to, you can get additional 1.2 bill Mesos per week if you do all 7 runs of MapleStory every single day. But if you just do the 2 free ones every single day, it's around 350 mil Mesos per week bonus. So you could do this and it'll give you around 350 mil Mesos at the end of the week when you claim it. So this is what a MapleStory run looks like. So yeah, it only takes like less than a minute to do one run. And if you talk to Lulu, you can check your accumulated wages. And it says, see, I just made 21 Mesos just from that one clear. And it tells me when I can receive my money. I could receive my money right away if I want to collect the payday advance, but you only get half. So I would recommend just waiting out the week and then collecting it at the end of the week so you get all of your money. So those are the most important dailies I would do when you're at low level. And with the remaining rest of your time, you could do either two things. I would recommend either continue training your main character, whether it's 15 minutes, another 30 minutes, however long you want for the rest of the day, or you could log off and go do something else if you want, or you could go train some Legion. So Legion is incredibly important on this game. Long story short, basically what Legion is the more characters you have on your account, the more like different classes, the stronger your overall account becomes. So you could go create another character, go train it for however long, and slowly you'll build up your Legion and you'll get a lot of bonus stats and bonus damage from it. I'm actually going to show you how far you could get a Legion character in like 15 minutes. Alright, so for this example, I'm going to be using a Cygnus Knight. Just pick that random. And we're going to see how far we can get with like 15 minutes of training. Just to show you guys how far you can get with just a little tiny bit of time, put it onto a character per day. Alright, so here I am on my level 10 Thunderbreaker. I am not going to put on any links because I'm just going to assume you guys don't have any links while training. I do have my Legion board, so I'm going to offset it by only using a 10-minute coupon instead of a 15-minute coupon. Alright, let's see how much we could get in 15 minutes training this Thunderbreaker. Alright, so in about 15 minutes, I got to level 40. Keep in mind, I had no link skills. If you have link skills, it will be so much faster. But the point is, with just a little bit of effort, I was able to get a character this far in. And it does add up across your account. I've gotten characters past level 60 before, just in 15 minutes with links and Legion and stuff like that. And obviously, if you go to an MVP, it makes it faster. There's just so many factors that can make it so much faster for you. So this is what I would consider like on the low end of 15 minutes of training. But the whole point of showing you all of this is just within 1 hour of gameplay, I did all my dailies, I did a bit of Legion, I capped my event coins, all that stuff. And it just goes to show when you know what you're doing, you can progress so much faster than everybody else because you're not going to waste your time doing a bunch of nonsense. Now, let's talk about a character that is a little bit higher level. So you could see my Kali is level 244 here. Probably when you're higher level, you're going to be a little bit stronger. So your dailies will be a lot faster. So things like Helix and Ursus, like even just doing 5% of Ursus, those things will be a little faster. So you'll have more time throughout your day to do other dailies. But because I'm higher level, that means I have more dailies unlocked. So these additional dailies that I have unlocked, I'm going to do them and I'm going to show you how long they take as well. The cool thing about Arcane River dailies is as you unlock more regions, the previous region's dailies become shortened. So if you remember when I was on my Shadower, I had to kill 600 mobs in Choo-Choo. But since I have Asphera unlocked, now I only have to kill 200 mobs here. So the dailies become shorter even though you get more of them. So it all about equalizes in the end. It is a little bit more when you have more dailies unlocked, but it's not so much more. It's not like every single region is like 600. They all go down to 200 eventually. Now on a character that is a little bit higher level, every single thing that I mentioned before still applies. Monster Park, Helix every day. You can do all of your daily bosses on the character again if you have multiple characters and make more money that way, but you can't do things like Monster Park and MapleStory across multiple characters. But yeah, everything else still applies. You should still do your Monster Park, still do all of your other dailies as well, but this time we just have a little bit more Arcane River dailies to do. So it took me about 6.5 minutes to do all those Arcane River dailies besides VJ and Choo-Choo. And you're going to see how much XP I get. So I'm at 16% right now, and now I'm at 23%. So I gained about 7% just from doing those Arcane River dailies at level 244. So that's actually a significant amount, all things considered. Like I know on the other character, it was quote unquote more, but I was level 216. I was way lower level. So gaining this much XP at level 244 is actually a really good amount. And as you can see, I almost capped out down my coins as well. So if you are playing and there is some sort of event that requires some sort of coin capping, you can coin cap just from doing your dailies. And if you don't fully cap out, then just finish the capping out and you'll have that requirement out of the way as well. So everything that I've done so far in the video has taken less than an hour. And like I mentioned before, it's so incredibly important to know what to do, because then you can do it effectively and efficiently, and your progression will just be way easier. And with the remaining of your time, you could continue training if you want. Like I said, you could go do Legion if you want. Let's switch to a character that is a much higher level. So let's say you're somebody who has come back to the game after a long time and you want to start playing again, but you just don't have that much time to play. Like, you couldn't grind like you used to. You can still progress as well, and every single thing that I said previously in the video still applies. So make sure you do all of your dailies, make sure you do your daily bosses, make sure you do your Ursus, make sure you do your monster park. But the main bulk of your time now is going to spend on doing Sacred Forest dailies, because Sacred Forest dailies take longer than your Arcane River dailies, and also the Hexa daily as well, the Urda request daily that gives you Fraggies and Soul Urda. Now, another daily that you're going to be doing when you're 260 plus is Monster Park Extreme. This is another reason why it's very important to be in some sort of community or some sort of guild, so you can get people to do Monster Park Extreme with you. So what I'm going to be doing is I will be doing the grandest dailies for Sacred Forest. It's 500 mobs in each area. I'm going to be showing you how long it takes. Obviously, I don't have Carcian unlocked yet, so you could just add a little bit of extra time if you're 285, and we'll see how long this takes. All right, so each region took around like a minute 45, something like that. So I'm done in like around 9 minutes. And again, if I had Carcian, it'd be like another like 145, 2 minutes on top of that. And, you know, if you still have any Arcane River dailies, as you max your symbols out, you'll have less dailies to do. Do all of those as well, even if you're super high level, if you need them, of course. There's also another daily that is actually really useful that I don't think a lot of people do. You unlock them once you're 245, is the Tenebris dailies. So these dailies are actually efficient to do no matter where you are in the game in terms of XP. They actually give you a lot of XP. Even if you're 280 plus, you should still do them. So all you have to do is just talk to Valiva here, accept all 3 dailies, and kill 200 mobs in each region. It takes like no time and gives you a lot of XP, and you get these things called Sparks of Determination, which you need to do Black Mage in the future if you're not at that point yet. So finished all of these dailies. It only took me around like 2.5 minutes to do. These are super quick and they're actually XP efficient to do. So even at 280 plus, it gives a significant amount of XP, and you get the sparks that you need to enter Black Mage. One last daily that is pretty important to do every single day is the Legion daily. This daily is very, very important, especially if you are low Legion level. Now, if you have like over 8k Legion, it's not that important to do, but I'd say if you're less than 8k Legion, it is very important to do. Just talk to the Legion guy, accept the 2 quests, and all you have to do is open your Legion board, start raid, and kill 100 of the little dragons and 20 of the gold dragons. Legit only took me like a minute to do, and it gives you 30 Legion coins, and these Legion coins do add up. It can be the difference from ranking up your Legion or not, so definitely don't sleep on it. So I hope this video helped you guys with not only just knowing what to do if you have a limited amount of time, but also showing you how you can progress a decent amount on this game with not even playing that much. You don't have to play the full hour every day. You could do less than an hour. Sometimes your dailies will only take you like 30 minutes to do, but you can progress on this game. It's not impossible. You can do it with not playing that much. But me personally, if you were to ask me like, when does it feel like you're not really progressing anymore, I personally think that once you're around 270 to 275 plus, you're going to need to put more hours into the game. And if you would like to see a video where I go over what it looks like when you have more time on this game, what it's like to play 2 hours a day, 3 hours a day, 4 hours a day, something like that, please let me know. And there will be a video on weeklies, what it's like to play as a weekly only gamer. Like, let's say you only play on the weekends, or you only have a couple days off in the middle of the week here and there, what it's like to only play, you know, let's say you're on the weekend, but you could play for a long time. You could play for like 8 hours, but only on the weekend, for example. useful. So be on the lookout for a video like that. If this helped you, please let me know. And I appreciate you guys so much for watching. And if you have any questions, as always, you could leave a comment. I read every single comment. And you could stop by on my stream and just ask me whatever you want live right there in person. With that being said, have a great day and thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much to my goats, Blazefire, Shooms, Uju, Shagad, Ravi Espa, Grim4K, Koga, Pabo, Piconir, Jesse, and Niles. I appreciate you guys so much.